Oh, well, look at that, friends. We are live on the Side Quest, a spooky edition. See, I'm a serial killer. Look at that. Oh, yeah, gotcha. Ooh.
It's a Sailor
I'm gonna
Moon.
say you are Sailor Moon. I'm gonna
Yeah.
speak like Count Chocula. No, I welcome to the Side Quest, your weekly journey into the beautiful, wonderful, magical world of video games, video game culture, and any other um, things that get us some SEO. I am Sally Demofsky. Right above me, the underscore double underscore J.
It is.
You can follow J right there. Just go ahead and follow.
Yeah.
To my right, your left. There we go. I got to show the pen. Zach Quest at OK Quest. How's it going, Zach?
Pretty good. That's it.
Okay. And then, all right, you ready for this, everybody? Oh,
Nope.
Yeah, so close.
Here we go.
Almost had it.
Here's giant finger time. Taylor Bliss at Taylor Bliss. There we go.
Yeah, what up?
I think I can
Forgot
pick your nose right here with this.
I forgot about Giant Finger, and now I'm upset again.
Now you're sad. Your beard is looking extra red today, JJ.
Yeah, I got different lighting. I'm in a totally different room today, so just you're coming at me with
I knew it as soon as the Evangelion scroll was no longer on the wall.
Yeah.
Like my 25-year-old Evangelion scroll.
Yeah. Show didn't feel the same.
Yep.
I got my asteroids though, so
Okay, all right. I'm comforted again.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, hello. How are you guys? Everybody good?
Great.
Pretty good weekends.
I'm doing good. Yeah.
You ready to have a fun week ahead? It's Monday. There's stuff always happening. And that's it. That's all I gotta say
Wow,
about that.
that's big news.
Wow.
There is big news. I'm gonna start with the real fun one. In that, let me ask you guys a question. How would you like to pay $50 to play Winback?
You have my attention. Please continue.
I mean, I paid more than that in 1996 to play Winback. So
You know
Think
what?
about
There
it.
you
This is value, actually.
This is value. Oh boy.
does it have save states now?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Oh,
And
man.
you also get Altered Beast.
Oh fuck yeah! Now we're
So there you
talking.
go. Nintendo.
give away.
I had no clue what those games were. I was like, what are we talking about?
Oh my god! You are so young. I love it. I love it.
I mean, in Zach's defense, I owned an N64 at the time it was released, and Winback is not a game I was familiar with during its lifetime
Me neither.
at all.
It is
now-
credited for Gears of War.
Now, granted, I was not like a young adult when it was N64 time, so like I wasn't purchasing the game, so my memory of things was a little bit different than say the Xbox and Xbox 360 era, where I was going out and choosing the games.
Yeah.
I was actively purchasing N64 games. I still remember my buddy being shady working at GameStop, because everybody at GameStop was good people.
Funko Land.
Yeah, universally, Dolly.
EB Games. Sorry, not Games. EB Games. He said, "Hey, we're getting the N64 today. Did you get your pre-order?" I'm like, "I didn't know they had pre-orders." This is college for me. He's like, "Well, come on by. If there's any extra, I'll let I'll make sure I put it aside for you." I said, "Okay." So I show up there as the store is opening. Ginormous line throughout the store. They haven't started giving anybody their N64s yet. My buddy, I won't say his full name. I'll just say E. My buddy E. He's like, oh, Mr. Demofsky, yes, come over here. Yes, sir. Oh, we're so thankful to have you here, sir. Yes, we have your N64 ready for you. It's right over here. And he went in the back and grabbed just probably somebody else's N64 and brought it over.
Fucking scam artists.
And there we go. That's how I got my N64. But yeah, Nintendo revealed the pricing for its new expansion pack tier. And oh boy. So I'll just play this video here. I don't think there's any sound to it. I'll turn off the sound of theirs. So the obviously current. Oh, is it not playing?
How haunting is it that that expansion
There you
packs are back and it's for the online?
Yes. So current current one person Switch Online membership is $20 a year. Nintendo has jacked that up to $50 by throwing in some N64 games, some Genesis games, and the Animal Crossing DLC that was also announced.
And Mario Kart 64 online.
And the games are on it. Now,
Can't wait till they figure out how to snake in Mario 64.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Now, being able to play these games online, I'm actually kind of excited. There's Winback right there.
There's Winback.
I'm actually excited to play these games online. Sin and Punishment.
Sin and Punishment's so fucking good, though.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah. People missed that on that when they brought it out for the Wii. But
sequel.
It's
games like the Yoshi game is like 20 minutes long.
It really is. But it's the predecessor to all those Yoshi crafted games, which is really funny because they all look like that since then. The family price is like $80. So that's for up to 8 people. This is a hell of a lot of money, even for I've been spitting on my laptop here. Even for a dude who's like entrenched in Nintendo, like I am, who grew up on all these games here and is excited to play them again. $50 fucking bucks.
I know.
$80. It would be $80 for me to get this for me and my daughter because my daughter plays online all the time.
So
yeah.
Okay, so my question is because my friends and I have about what's the max amount of people you can have in a family thing?
8.
Yeah, so I have 8 friends, and we do a family account like sharing thing for the online right now. And I pay like $6 a year. So,
Now
so
it's $10. If you...
Yeah, so now it's it's $10. So now it's like, okay, that's a good deal, no matter how you cut it, really. So I mean, for people who are smart, and do that, family deal thing, then it might be worth it. But besides that, it's kind of steep because they still haven't proven the value of it yet. Besides Animal Crossing, and you can play Zelda if you get bored.
Yeah,
that's it.
I mean, we talked about this before we knew what the pricing was, right? Because the last time we had the show, it was after they announced that they were doing it, but before they had done the pricing announcement, and it kind of did exactly what. Wait. Oh, this family membership cost. I was like, wait, it's not $35. But yeah, I mean, they did exactly what I was like. Okay, yeah, it's not. It's more than double the cost.
Yeah.
For what it comes out is like, what is it, like 22 new games or something on the service? From between the N64 and Genesis.
The audacity to have the Genesis stuff as part of the sale when you can get that Genesis collection for like $10 on any day.
If that much.
No, probably less.
You get more games. Yeah.
And more games on it. And the other thing is that it's not. I mean, not that I'm begrudging Nintendo for doing it, but it's not their catalog, right? Those are the old Sega Genesis games, and so that part, like I said, I think it's cool, but I think it's weird. But it's it's the same tier as SNES, right? It's the same, it is that same kind of console.
16-bit era, baby.
So to kind of lump it in with N64 just seems kind of weird. Yeah. But I mean, what are you going to do? Throw it into the base and then make N64 the only thing that's worth $50 a year? No, of course not. That's even worse. So I don't know. It just doesn't feel good.
What's really weird about this for me is that it's not enough content to justify this price. Now, if you're an Animal Crossing player, right? If you're someone who's like knee deep in Animal Crossing, then you're paying $5 extra because the Animal Crossing expansion is $25, and
one time.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. One time you're gonna play it, for a year or so at most. But I haven't touched my.
Sir, I'd like to introduce you to Animal Crossing fans.
Yeah, no, you're correct. You're correct. But Yes, and even then, you only have it for that year, right? But for an Animal Crossing fan, they may want to get this and then pay the extra $5 for
They just
N64. But the problem with all of this is we don't know what Nintendo is thinking going forward. Like they could, they
have you seen their Super Nintendo selection? Like,
so yeah. I mean, here's my other thing about it is that like the selection on N64 side. I mean, they've already announced some of the other stuff that's coming afterwards, but like
when.
And it's also somewhat unimpressive if you want me to be perfectly honest. It's just
64 was unimpressive.
Well,
because
so you come out swinging. Show, I mean, put everything that was good and put it on the service.
But outside of what they showed off, what else? I mean, like it has kind of the key games already. Like unless they got Banjo-Kazooie on there, unless they can somehow work it to get GoldenEye on there online.
And Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Conker's
GoldenEye online. Yeah. And again, I guess the point I'm trying to getting at is Nintendo does a bad job of here. I'm going to shut this down for a second here so we can actually talk.
What they need to do? What they need to do is just say, like all first-party DLC is included. Like because Breath of the Wild 2 is probably going to have a similar expansion pack, and say, just don't have to say Breath of the Wild 2, but say first-party DLC will be included. Like people would understand.
You don't even have to say first-party DLC. You'll be like, we're going to be looking to add DLC for our other games coming soon, and
yeah.
So Zach was the first person to mention that when we were first chatting about it. He was like, if this is a DLC funnel, it's actually kind of cool. And I agree because I spend a shit ton of money on DLC.
DLC funnel for $50 for $50 a year, and we kind of start to transform things because if there's anything that Nintendo has done, especially with the Switch, because I don't recall it being so proliferous on Wii U and Wii.
No. 3DS had it was most there was stuff, but not this.
But not like this. I mean, like almost every first-party Nintendo game and a lot of kind of third-party Nintendo games that feature Nintendo characters have had major DLC paid DLC patches to them. So if that stuff all of a sudden becomes a part of it, that's a different story because now we're talking about current gen content and a way that like. That and then I'm in because like I don't necessarily need to own that stuff because a lot of the time if I have the base game and I play through the DLC once, I'm kind of good. Like Torna for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I never pick that up. If all of a sudden if I can pay $50 and I get all the DLC including backdating to like Xenoblade, okay, maybe,
right, yeah,
all right.
And exactly, that would be fantastic because I mean, even it would potentially spark interest in picking up some of these older games, like the Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity that's out. And it's not making any traction because who wants to spend $30?
Right.
Besides me, who wants to spend $30 on a Musou game, but on Musou DLC? No one.
Corey.
Or in Fire Emblem, I think had Corey. Hey, you're right, Corey. Fire Emblem had DLC. But if you say, hey, by the way, the Torna DLC is included, you need to have Xenoblade 2, all of a sudden Age of Calamity DLC is included, people are going to be picking up or potentially enticed to pick up the original game. And to top it off, I think you need to add some type of incentive or discount, like give me 5% off or 10% off on games. Like Game Pass lets you purchase games at a discount. Nintendo should say all first party games, if you're paying this $50 a year fee,
I liked it.
All first party games give discount.
Remember when the Wii U launched with that thing and it was like every digital game you buy comes with like a discount, like you start gathering money for like the first year and a half of the Wii U. That was cool.
Yeah, I mean that was a little bit different because they needed to sell the Wii U. I mean we're 5 years into the life cycle of the Switch.
It's starting 5, fifth.
Yeah, we're entering into the 5th year, and that those problems don't exist, so they don't have to do that. And it's the same issue with Dali on peripherals or offering those incentives. offering the DLC to encourage extra sales on products that people don't own that's tangible.
Yes.
Yeah.
The discounts on other stuff isn't. Like, Nintendo doesn't have any reason to do it. People are already buying it. It's the same reason why the extra console controllers, the Sega Master System and the N64 controllers, are selling for $50. Having NSO is the gateway to be able to purchase a $50 controller. They're not discounting it for you. They're saying you're welcome. Thanks for subscribing to our service. Now you can buy this controller.
Yeah, I completely agree.
They need to bring back the old Nintendo Club stub.
Yes.
Because I got so much cool shit.
Yep.
There's some real cool shit that came with Nintendo stuff. A fucking Game & Watch.
Yeah, for sure.
Free CDs.
For me to be really interested in this, and again, this is Nintendo, so they're not going to do it, is to not just say, hey, these few games are coming eventually. Maybe some of them will come by the end of the year. But give an actual schedule, because what Game Pass does is say, Game Pass, even PSN says, here it is, once a month, this is what you get. This is the games of gold, this is what's on Game Pass, coming and going, these are the discounts. And it's going to happen once a month, and Nintendo needs to do it, because they need to say, the first Tuesday of every month is new game for NSO Tuesday.
I was going to say, bring back We Shop Wednesdays.
Bring back We Shop Wednesdays. No, but that, to me, it seems like, that way at least to expect something, and you can plan around it.
Once a month with your expansion pass Nintendo Online, you get some V-Bucks, and then all the kids will demand.
Yeah. I mean, they could offer stuff like that too. Yeah.
Sony does that shit. Like, your PlayStation Plus membership gets you, 200 fucking credits to Avengers or some bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat the Avengers horse into the ground.
I'm gonna beat it. The other thing one thing Game Pass does is as games are leaving the service, they also throw on extra discount.
Yes.
So that, like, if people have been playing it, you didn't beat it, or if you just want to own it or whatever, you can then buy it at that extra discount on top.
Yeah. Yep. And Nintendo is not, doesn't have the foresight.
Again,
I don't know who's gonna buy this for N64. Not buying it for Genesis games, because I won't touch any of those Genesis games. I think I have Sonic Mania, so that's all I got.
Doug, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real. We got 2, maybe 3 months until Steam Deck comes out.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
I'll buy Genesis games on there.
I already have the same Genesis.
Which is crazy is that, like, I'd make an emulation joke, but like, for the Sega stuff, it's literally for sale in Steam. I don't even have to do anything.
And also the Steam version of the Genesis collection includes workshop support, so you can just download other games.
You can download other games that aren't Sega games.
That's amazing.
And like weird mods and stuff for other games and stuff. It's a cool package on PC.
So I don't. We'll see. I mean, are they going to publish numbers for?
Absolutely not.
Yeah. So I mean,
Nintendo. They will never know.
Yeah, they won't. They won't. They'll roll it into the regular online totals. Is what they do.
Yeah, I think Nintendo would want to post like people who converted. They might say like we converted so many customers. They
64% of
but like what my like really pessimist take on this is they could easily just make this be the Animal Crossing conduit for stuff, like just give the DLC for this 1 year, and then next year there's going to be another DLC that comes out that's also going to be a part of this. They keep adding onto it. That's like the biggest thing I think that they could do, and they probably will do. But I hope other games become a part of it, though, because that would be.
Well, I think it's safe to. I would say it would be safe to assume that Splatoon 3 will be a part of this.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think this is the last one.
Didn't they actually say that this is the last update for
the last free update? The last free update.
But this isn't a free update. I mean, they said
this other one is not correct.
Yeah.
They are releasing a free
there's two there's two updates coming. There's the paid DLC and there's the last free update coming.
Yeah,
but
I think Animal Crossing would work well as like a game you purchase once and you get like a games as a service type of game. Like that's what it is, but more into it. I think it would work that way. And if they charge like a monthly subscription for that game, it would also make sense too. And I don't know why they haven't thought about that, because they could totally make it, hey, you pay a sub and you get like an app on your phone they can use to talk to villagers or some crazy shit that they would do. But I don't know.
We all know that the answer to this is that Nintendo is just not that company, right? They're just that's like two interdisciplinary teams that would have to both be doing stuff and working together. It's just not gonna no. So like it's just not gonna happen. And the reality is that Pocket Camp is gonna exist, be its own thing. Continue to be the entry point gacha that it is, the mainstream Animal Crossing has continued to be its thing, and then they're going to literally push it for maybe 12 more months. I think that's even exaggerating the expected lifespan of this game, and then it's literally just going to end. That's going to be it, and then they will probably work on a sequel if they so choose, but that's it.
I mean, this is a company that kind of refuses to take Pokemon into any sort of significant online space in any way, shape, or form.
I don't think it's Nintendo's fault.
I mean, I don't think Nintendo is helping, but I don't think it's Nintendo.
I think if Nintendo really felt like it, they could push the issue.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, let's look at their history, and the other games that they're doing, and we got enough evidence.
It's because Nintendo looks at their team and say, "Oh, there's only 10 guys working on this game. I don't think we can do anything." Like that's the actual issue, because I would love to see an actual team at Game Freak and how big they are. Because I still have this sneaking suspicion it's like 15 dudes making
How long did it take? It took a year for them to implement online play into the Switch Mario Party game. Remember that? Came out.
I don't. Oh, God.
2 years. It was 2 years or a year and a half.
And then they said, "Oh, we're gonna add all this DLC and like cool stuff," and then they scrapped it and added that into the new one.
Yeah,
and then they just made a new game instead. This is so much pain, dude.
So I wonder what's gonna happen with Animal Crossing.
It's a mess. I say it's a mess because it's lacking value. It completely lacks value, and I think that it's a hard sell for anybody. Again, and unfortunately, I'm going to say this kind of last thing. It's great for families that have more than one person who plays Animal Crossing, because it's because of Nintendo's own doing that the DLC. If one person buys the DLC on the family plan, it doesn't cascade to everybody else. It's just the weirdest Nintendo thing. It's like the family plan is only for you to get online. Everybody still buys their own games. And so that includes DLC, which means that in order to play your own DLC on Animal Crossing, you have to buy the DLC separately. So you're looking at $50 of DLC there. 50 plus the $35 family plan is $85. So in a way, this is actually a little bit of a savings. But my daughter's not going to play Animal Crossing. She may play Splatoon 3. So that's the issue that might be happening for me later on, is if Splatoon 3's DLC is $25, it won't be. But if that becomes the case, then that may be a little bit of an advantage. But yeah, Nintendo, it's expensive. It's expensive, buds. You got to rethink it.
Maybe they'll just keep it at 50, and then they'll just include every first-party Nintendo game with the service. Think about it.
Nintendo Game Pass.
Nintendo Game Pass.
That'd be amazing.
They may have a lot of time on their hands to do it.
Nintendo's version of Game Pass, would be like $150 because it's
like
I mean, but yeah,
Game Pass is 120.
Game Pass. No, Game Pass is 180. It's $15 a month.
Yeah.
If you do it for
No, I'm
PC,
saying, like-
for PC and console.
Yeah, but that's Nintendo's 3-month plan. I mean,
Yeah. But
the games don't even go on sale. Let alone
right.
Yeah, dude, I saw a Nintendo game on sale for the first time like last year, and I was like, "Is something okay? Like something wrong with Nintendo? This game's $10 off. There's $10 off in this game. What's going on?
This game is less than $60. Is Nintendo okay?
Wario 64. I love his tweets whenever Donkey Kong Country finally goes on sale somewhere. He's like, "This game's never going on sale," and it finally popped up on sale like 2 years after release. So you can look at it. But Nintendo doesn't have anything to worry about in terms of competition for games because their biggest game competition, at least in January, Elden Ring, has been delayed to February, to a much easier time.
It's going to get delayed again.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah.
Dude, just push it into April. I don't know why it's not an April release. It doesn't make any sense to push into February. Like, unless they have these really big balls, and they're like, we know people are just going to play our game over everything else. I don't know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Very interesting choice.
It's a I mean, we all knew it was going to get delayed. Again, saying it's going to be delayed 1 month is very aggressive. It's that's
I wouldn't. I don't know. I continue to be amazed by game studios doing this and then coming back and delaying it again. It's just like, just put a quarter, put a season, do something other than this. Like, now it's February 22nd. Like, you not only did you just say February, you said the day. You're like, why?
At 8 a.m.
Although to be fair, it is you dominate the news cycle the day you announce your delays. So I guess
that's true.
Yeah, but like with Elden Ring, you're going to dominate it no matter what you say about it if it's not coming out on the day that's currently set. Like they would dominate the news cycle no matter what they said. They could reiterate. They could send a tweet about the fact that, like, hey guys, just a heads up, we're still releasing on this day, and it would still generate news for that day cycle.
Well, the thing is like this game has so much hype, and it's felt like it's been revealed for a long time, but because it has technically, but really it hasn't. So it's like it's not really that big of a delay. It's like, okay, cool, we gotta wait another month or two. Like, great, cool, but I don't know. They have a technical online networking playtest next month, which is not good to like say, okay, we're delaying our game and also check out our network test. It's like, oh shit, like there's something happened.
Something happened. They're like, uh-oh.
I mean, I will say though, at least in their defense, it's much worse if they complete the network test and then delay it. Because that means that, like, hey guys, we just tested the networks out. It's not good. We need. I don't know, but maybe they have maybe they just kind of expected something to go wrong, or they have some bugs that they are expecting to be shown during the network test, and they just wanted to get ahead of it. That way, it looks again. I mean, you avoid people making that connection or that connection being more obvious. But of course, that's just speculation. Also, the network test is not on PC. It is console only.
Because they don't want PC players to data mine everything in the game. Yeah. Duh. Like, that's what that game is based around.
Write a package that doesn't include all that shit in it, but it's a lot easier just to put it on console instead.
Yeah. Japanese devs don't.
I know.
Taylor with the just tighten up the graphics on World 2. It's totally fine. You can
it's fine. Whatever. Pare it down. God.
So Elden Ring doesn't interest me at all because I'm just not into that stuff. Is the network test because it's like Dark Souls and or is it like a multiplayer game? I have no.
They're doing multiplayer.
Okay.
So
I have no idea.
Yeah. So unlike Dark Souls, where there was multiplayer in the Dark Souls games, but it was like you could either invade or you would be invaded, and then you would have to fight those players. This is
multiplayer.
This is actual cooperative play.
Cool. That'll be fun to watch. I'll watch that.
It's big, open, like Zelda and multiplayer, have fun Sekiro game.
Right.
Nice. All right.
It makes me actually interested to play because, again, I'm with you, JJ. Dark Souls games is not exactly my thing.
Your forte.
What?
Yeah.
Are you bad at games?
Yeah, I'm bad at video games.
Very much so.
It's the reason why I couldn't beat Metroid Dread or Hollow Knight. So
That's why I couldn't jump in that one spot that had the arrow
And Cuphead.
box. Yeah, no, and Metroid Dread where Jaffe got stuck for an hour.
That's right.
wait, what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
David Jaffe, like you know that first room you go into where there's those blocks you shoot above your head to like jump up. He couldn't figure out how to do that, and he was stuck in there for an hour.
I'll have to look this up because I don't recall anything like this from the intro of the game. I'm literally gonna have to look it up.
It's like the training part that trains you how to aim your gun.
Yeah.
It's basically that part.
Oh no. Anyway.
Anyways, yeah.
Well, I was gonna say
April with Stalker 2 and everything will be fun.
Yeah, the other thing is that February's kind of stacked.
Yeah.
It really is.
February
Which
is
game
nasty.
What game do you think is going to get delayed out of there? I mean, maybe Elden Ring. But
Horizon.
You think Horizon?
I will say, Horizon genuinely feels like a springtime game to me.
It does. It kind of does.
Was Elden Ring's coming out the same day as the new Saints Row? Like, no, it's
Yeah.
fucking not. Neither of those games are coming out that day. We haven't seen.
Taking bets.
Yeah. The new Saints Row is not coming out in February.
Just announced it and showed off like 8 minutes of gameplay. Yeah, I'm sure it's coming out in February.
I think the concept's cool. Like you have student loan debt and you pay off your student loans by doing crimes. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm always down for a Saints Row game. It's not coming out in February.
Taylor, you watching that amazing video?
Maybe.
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 Fastest part.
What I was gonna say, I felt like there was something else I wanted to mention about Elden Ring, but I guess not. There's nothing. I guess there's not really much else to say.
Well, I said we're gonna get wins a winner first before Elden Ring comes out. That's gonna happen.
I think that's probably an exaggeration, but
I don't think that
you're a crazy Dally.
You know what? You know what else is crazy is that for the first time in 33 months, the PlayStation 5 was the top-selling console in the U.S., beating out the Nintendo Switch.
I don't believe it.
Nintendo had
All by design.
Had dominated it through however many years and almost 3, and Sony, the PS5 finally took it out. Now, I'm wondering if obviously supply issues are part of it, but I kind of think if because they were probably saving stuff to get that OLED version out in October, so they probably ship less regular consoles. I'm guessing maybe potentially, if they were probably allocating parts and stuff to the OLED Switch rather than the regular. I'm not sure, but so kudos to Sony. Finally, the return of the king. Now they just need some games, but Sony has unseated Nintendo, so good for them.
Well, Spider-Man is coming to the Avengers on the PlayStation 5. So
That's got to be
Oh
it.
my god!
Yeah. Oh yeah. So that was another one. Was a quick thank you to Gohan, mentioning that Phil Spencer was like, "Yeah, we're not done with acquisitions."
The thing to keep in mind here is that no one is done with acquisitions.
No.
This goes for Microsoft. This goes for Sony. Frankly, it goes for Nintendo.
If you're a company, a tech company like this, and you're not always looking at acquisitions, then what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean,
We need a Japanese studio.
Yeah, I mean that we're the age of kind of heavily relying on. I didn't want to use reliable twice in a row, but on being able to have reliable devs that you can hand off projects to that will always be able to complete them, and that ideally, once if you acquire them, can be first party content which is exclusive to you, is now kind of the defining merit of a lot of the studios. I mean, I think that probably Sony and Nintendo to a much lesser degree, because it's just Nintendo, are starting to see what Game Pass is what's happening with Game Pass, and probably starting to maybe get a little sweaty about it. Not too sweaty, but
yeah, it's so crazy how Microsoft has just like shaken up the whole like ecosystem of games, because like it gives consumers a lot of power, which is very rare. And companies like PlayStation and Nintendo don't like to really do that. So yeah, I just really want Microsoft to just keep kicking ass and buying studios and saying, we don't care if you want your games on the PlayStation, it's going to be on the Xbox and PC. Like, yeah, that's the other thing that it makes it hard to criticize Microsoft too much for a lot of these. Because they do two, or I mean, it's doing A and B, two things. One is that they don't make them pure exclusives, because they've fully embraced the PC market, which means that there's always an alternative, which is becoming more accessible. And the second part is that they get them, and then they don't immediately lead to them shutting down or being closed behind closed doors, which has been a problem. Which has been a problem with other places. Well, I mean, it, Taylor, I'm making you say it right now.
Say it.
I actually wasn't thinking about Valve. I was thinking about Activision and EA, where it's too easy to look at them and the acquisitions that they've made, to whether it's to acquire IPs or otherwise, and the studios that were at the helms of them previously literally just get washed away. Talent disperses, sometimes within, sometimes externally, depending on the studio.
Just like Valve, yep.
Just like
the first one I think of is not Valve, although Valve is guilty of it.
3 times now. So
EA has a much worse track record.
oh yeah, with like the Disney stuff, the Lucas art stuff.
I mean, you've got Lucas. I mean, God, I'd have to look up the Wikipedias. I didn't expect to make.
Go ahead. List them all.
We have time. No, I'm not going to. But yeah, I mean, anybody that has the desire to, I mean, it's well documented the amount of studios that have closed under some of these bigger names. So
Microsoft has grown a lot since they acquired and effectively disassembled Ensemble Studios. So
yeah, I mean,
right. I forgot they did that. Yeah.
I'd argue that it's just been very different since Phil Spencer's been there, and that's certainly been kind of a big turning point.
A gamer, I tell you what.
Yep. You guys don't think that Sony's brass shows up on screen with the headsets for no reason? They're gamers as well. You mentioned Steam. I have a couple quick little bits of Steam news. Both are good. One is that they're going to be verifying that every game works on the Steam Deck.
That's really cool. Whoever has to do that job, I hope they have a good life.
You want to get that job. So that's cool. It's you put a new piece of hardware out and it make sure it works. Something that they did not do with the Steam boxes, and people had issues with that nonstop with their whole decentralized idea. But hey, something that is decentralized that you won't find on Steam are any games that have NFTs, as Steam says. God. Yeah, we're not going to be allowing NFTs and Bitcoin, all that kind of junk on our platform.
I mean, then it's time to talk about the fact that days after this tweet comes out, Dead by Daylight is like,
yeah,
hey, by the way, let's go NFT content in our Steam game, please, right now, get on it.
I was about to share that tweet too, which is great.
That, and I think Tim Sweeney, like a couple days later, maybe the day of, said like, we're not against the idea of looking to.
Yeah, except they got receipts of Tim Sweeney's September tweets where he was like, we will never support NFT stuff. But then Steam said no, and Tim's like, I don't know, maybe not so bad.
Maybe it's a good idea.
Maybe we can get more people back on our platform.
Maybe we can keep giving away games and make no money for the next decade still.
It's good. I mean, I've been noted as not being a big fan of NFTs yet. I haven't seen the value, and we like to have fun with them in the Discord. Feel free to join the SideQuesting Discord where we have fun on that. But yeah, there you go. Good
Post tweets about NFTs.
I post them. I used to post them all the damn time.
I got an email from DC Comics saying, sign in here to get a free DC NFT. And I'm like, then what's the point?
Yeah.
DC
yeah, everyone can have it.
I can't.
That makes no sense.
It makes no sense. They literally just.
I right click that email so fast.
Yeah. They literally would be giving you just it's a GIF that looks like a diskette with the Green Lantern on it. Like that's what it is. And,
pretty epic.
Good times. NFTs are good for everyone. Jesus.
Yep. Well, I think that's it for the news. We can
wait. I got something.
Oh, was there something else? You got something? Okay, go ahead.
So Amazon, they are up to no.
You talk about the server stuff or what?
Yeah. So they had a little server oopsie whoopsie happen.
Yeah.
And then players log back in, and the game went forward a month, and everyone lost all their info. So like all their data, all their items, everything just gone, and they're like, we don't have a rollback method.
But not only that, I mean, like, I'm just to put it in perspective is that like obviously losing your shit and MMO is really bad, but even worse than that, the way that New World as a video game works is that it has a lot of real world stuff on there, like you kind of create towns and build up towns, and there's like taxes and shit like that. When
you have Bezos and taxes?
When it moves forward in time, or if the server thinks that the time has moved forward, if you don't do upkeep on those things as the players that are controlling those things, you lose them. And if you've invested resources into them, they deteriorate and then disappear. So on top of all of those other things is that literally time and quote game monetary investments are just evaporated, and that they just go, well, I'm glad that we learned what happened here and from it, and sorry that there's nothing that we can do for you.
That's it.
Oops.
They can't give you your stuff back. All 750,000 players I've seen playing that game consistently all the last couple of weeks, all that data is gone.
I mean, it was only one server.
It was only one server, but it was
still,
a pretty populated one. So
yeah.
Did you see that Aliens game that recently came out has dipped below 800 players?
Oh, which one? The left, I was gonna say the Left 4 Dead Aliens game.
Left 4 Dead.
Oh.
Hey, real quick, anybody catch the DC Fandom this past weekend?
Of course.
I caught the Batman trailer, and that's
Badass. Okay.
Excited.
They showed some updated videos for Gotham Knights and for Kill the Justice League.
Oh,
they both look good.
Yeah. I'm not a fan.
Interested.
No.
They're
describing both. Okay, so here's the thing, right? Is they're both multiplayer games. They're both action RPGs, but they're separately. They're going to come out around the same time. Like
both within 2022, but I don't know when.
That's strange. They're how different can they make these games? Because they're going to be pretty identical.
Yeah.
And they're action RPGs versus like a stealth combat Batman game, which is what I like.
The Justice League one is the one that I'm really kind of interested in because it's just I like those characters. The Batman one, the Bat Family one, they're kind of too similar. The Justice League one is made by Rocksteady, and it takes place in the Arkham universe.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Gotham Knights is made by WB Montreal, who made the prequel to the Arkham City the Arkham games
made
with
Origins.
Arkham Origins, which technically isn't
best
in the
Batman
Arkham isn't in the Arkham unit. Is it good? I haven't played it.
It's my favorite one.
Yeah.
Eh.
So, there you go.
It's
let's-
crunchy.
Arkham,
got some crunch.
Arkham City, I think today or within the last couple of days turned 10. That game is 10 years old now.
It's retro now. Wow. Good lord. I
I
put
was
it
in
on the Wii
11th
U.
grade when that came out.
Fuck you.
I put it on the Wii U, and it was actually really good.
It's actually a good Wii U port.
yeah.
They had that weird like Wii U exclusive power stuff that was kind of neat.
Wii U.
Oh yeah, and you can like
exclusive
scan
at full
shit with
price,
your.
man.
Yeah, it was cool. Like detective mode shit and like electricity stuff too. It was
Oh.
cool.
What are you guys playing? Let's move into what we've been playing. I'm gonna hop in because I never really go first all that much. So I'll hop in a little bit here
Go, dog, go.
because I don't have a lot. Plowing through more of Metroid, and that's why I was a little bit late to get this party started. Is because I'm far enough along in Metroid, and I'll say this. Okay, the boss battles are the only quote unquote difficult thing in this game, in specific boss battles, but it's all pattern recognition. Like once you figure out the pattern, you knock these bosses out of there. Some bosses have secrets where you can.
Dally, you just described video games.
Yeah.
I think Metroid is special. And the reason I bring it up is like the Chozo battles. Once I figured out how to do the Chozo battles, they were the Chozo warriors were easy after that. But
There's the one where you have to fight two at the same time. That is
yes, that was a pain. But then when you figure out that you can use those, was the storm missiles or whatever it is, I forget which one. It is, and then you just wreck them. You wreck them.
Yeah.
But,
So there's a little secret in these Metroid games. You get items when you're playing the games, and these items can help you in the boss fight.
Yeah.
So just make sure to look out for.
What's weird about how they designed Metroid is that it seems almost like they strategically give you upgrades that you're then intended to use almost immediately on the next objective. I found that truly interesting and fascinating, really.
Inspired even.
Yeah.
No, I'm facing off against I think it's Experiment ZD7, that big the big kind of beast that has the tentacles and it can shoot the lasers and stuff. That's the one that's kind of climbing. I think
Oh yeah.
Now it's got like a couple phases. I'll get past the first phase without getting any hits or anything on me. But then he does these stupid waves where he's like, you got to play like Flappy Bird, right? So you got to jump up and kind of go through these stupid little these little waves of energy. And it fucking sucks, dude. It fucking sucks.
That part was actually one, aside from the last boss.
Yeah.
That was probably the hardest one.
The last
I
boss, I can't wait to hear Dolly's time with that.
Yeah, you're not there, right, Dolly?
No. I'm still facing off against Experiment ZD.
Oh boy,
That's gonna be.
Dolly. We're gonna be talking to Dolly about the last boss for like 3 weeks, I think.
It's like
I'm gonna
Taylor like
open up
2 hours or something to beat it.
Yeah,
like, dude, I finally beat it. I was like,
yeah, it was just literally, it was like, wow. It was the one that reminded me the most of Hollow Knight, to be quite honest.
Okay. See, this is what happens to me with every Metroid game, and why I never complete a Metroid game is I'll get to the very last boss, and then I can't fucking beat them because it's just ratcheted up ever so much where it's like right out of reach. But
it's like the last boss takes mechanics from the previous bosses and adds it in.
Yeah.
I don't know. The last boss was. I mean, I will say that like if I went back and did it right now, I'd probably just one shot it. Like it's weird, but it expects you to do a lot of things right. Just repeat it, like it's just you just have to keep doing it. But anyway,
but I'm loving it. I love
good game.
it just non.
But it was God, it was so good.
And then the satisfaction you get when you finally figure it out and you finally beat it's so you're just like, fuck yeah, I did it. You got nothing on me, Chozo. It's good. Good stuff.
I wish that like there was a sequel that I could just like be like, oh,
Play now.
let's get sweet.
Now, what if I told you that they had Super Metroid Dread on Nintendo Switch Online as part of that $50?
The best deal in gaming.
The best.
That's the biggest crime with the Metroid games is that once they're done, you know it's it for a significant amount of time. Like,
I will say at least Prime 4 is theoretically still being made.
But it's not the same. Man.
It's not the same.
As much as I really do like the Prime games. Like,
all these guys did except for me.
Yeah,
I actually have never played them.
The Dread.
Oh, for Dread, yeah.
It's just that I like these way more. Like, so it hurts when it's gonna be like, yeah. I mean, I'm probably gonna love Prime 4, but I just wish there was a Dread 2 right now, or whatever the next Metroid Samus game ends up being. Now that the prequel, since this is the end of this,
you're gonna have AMDR, so another Metroid Dread remake. Metroid Dread. I fucking love it.
There's a way to play the Prime Trilogy games on your PC with a keyboard and mouse. After you do that, it's kind of hard to go back.
Yeah.
So just a fair warning if you ever do that, JJ, because
it's probably never going to happen. But I can't. I know I could. But
you can play a lot of Switch games with the keyboard and mouse, which is surprisingly good.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But I beat Dread again in like 3.5 hours.
Okay.
So, if y'all want to beat me, you can try. But
I think I'm.
Don't know.
Did you go back on? Oh yeah. By the way, the one I sent this to Zach as soon as I beat it. I beat it, and then it was like, "You've unlocked hard mode." And I was like, so it's like there's a segment of people that don't want to be shown this image.
Yeah.
The fact that there's a hard mode on the game.
Yeah. Yep. And then Hot Wheels. I'm still playing Hot Wheels. It's good. It's still chunky racing. It's not great like actual mechanics, but gameplay.
Crunchy.
But it's crunchy. But unlocking the cars, I'm like, it's got its hooks. It's got its hooks in me because I unlocked one vehicle, one of the rare treasure hunt vehicles, that it just murders. Like, I cannot lose a race now. It's like it's so OP against every bit of competition. I cannot lose a race, and I've bumped up the difficulty and a bunch of other things, and it's like, yeah, it's pretty awesome. But I freaking love it.
So in the professional at SmashCon, you won't be able to use the treasure card.
Yeah, but they did just announce. I didn't mention they announced the Batmobile is coming. A whole bunch of Bat cars are coming, so I'm kind of stoked about that. So
you say they announced the Batmobile is coming, but that's loaded. Right. What Batmobile is coming?
Yeah, it's true.
Right?
It's a bunch of them. It is. It's.
They definitely get their money's worth on the Batmobile in Hot Wheels.
It's I don't know. I chose a couple of them there, but and they got a Penguin car, they got a Joker car, a Robin car.
Batman.
But so it's good. I'm liking it definitely. It's in my one of my top games of the year, just because it's a solid 7 out of 10, and I fucking love it. Games that are 7 out of 10s are 7.5.
Yes.
Wasn't that the PAX panel, the perfect 7?
Yes, that's what we're gonna do. We'll do a next year. We're gonna do a PAX East panel, the perfect 7 out of 10. And JJ, we're gonna like zoom you in or
zoom
something.
Me in
have
for
you
the
there.
7.
Yeah, that'll work.
Just talk about Tetrasphere for.
So yeah, Hot Wheels is just so good. It's exactly what you expect, and it works. And it's exactly Playland says it, the comfort food of gaming.
Yep,
completely agree. They are comfort food. It's like you can go back to the game anytime. It's Red Faction Guerrilla is like that for me. It's not a great game, but it's a perfect 7. So, anyways, what are you playing, Taylor?
Let's see. I don't know. I have a Metroid-sized hole in my heart. But honestly, this past week, I spent most of my time watching Dota 2. in client on Dota 2 because I did some interactive prediction and fantasy stuff for the tournament, which ended on Sunday. So that was
the biggest prize.
Was that yesterday? Oh my god, that was yesterday. I woke up at 4 a.m. because it was in Bucharest, Romania. So then I wanted to watch it. So yesterday feels like it was about 3 days long. But yeah, it was the first place won. I think it was over $18 million.
It's wild.
I think it was
a Russian team won. I think, right?
Yeah, so it was a team based out of Russia, 3 Russians, 2 Ukrainians.
Russian people, cool.
First time that a Russian organization has won since the first, which was Team Navi.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, when it was $1 million in 2011.
Crazy shit.
So, but and even back then, when Valve, because this is obviously after Valve had taken over Dota and started Dota 2, then they announced like, all right, we're going to do a tournament, and people were like, okay, yeah, whatever. And then they dropped the fact that it was going to be a $1 million as the prize, and it was like everybody was like, whoa, what?
When the international was played here, like at the Key Arena in Seattle, like I remember telling people, like, why is there? People were curious, like, why it's so big in Seattle right now? It's like there is a massive video game thing going on there, and the purse is millions of dollars, and Jaws would hit the floor routinely, like like for video game, for one video game.
Okay, so I just had to look it up because I was curious. I googled biggest Smash Brothers prize pool, $150,000, just to like, just so even that is small compared to like Capcom, which is usually like $500K, usually like a year for like a Capcom thing. So Dota being this big is even more than League of Legends too. Even like
prize pool is it's almost not comparable.
It's crazy.
Because it's I mean I think Worlds is going on right now. Let's see.
Yeah, Worlds is going on.
Worlds 2021 prize pool, 2.25 million, which again is like it's not tiny, but like we're talking about like that's 2.25 for the whole tournament. Dota 2's tournament prize pool was like over 40 million.
That's insane.
And I think, the way that typically works is that Valve stakes a certain amount and the rest comes from a portion of the money that they make from selling in-game stuff in the Dota 2 game.
Passes and stuff.
Yeah, so they have what they call compendiums. They have battle passes where you can pay to level up the compendium, pay to open up new treasures, stuff like that, typical stuff. But what's fucking bonkers is that prize pool is made up of only 25% of the money that they are paid from that stuff. Now it's a little bit inflated because obviously it didn't happen last year because of COVID. So we have kind of an extra year's worth of money amassed that went into it, which always helps Valve because they want to make sure that they keep making that headline about having the biggest prize pool every year, as long as it's possible to do so.
What's the prize pool this year? What is it?
The total prize pool?
Yeah.
For
1 million?
Yeah, it was.
So that's I mean, PGA like has one of the highest prize pools in sports, and that's like 46 million. So that's
Yeah, it was just over 40. So it was,
but PJ also has like a shit ton of sponsors and rich
sponsors. It's like
so it's like
they're like lead sponsors. Like their clocks are sponsored by Rolex. It's like
yeah, it's
And the thing that is wild to me is the production quality of these things are insane, like next level shit. Even from like even when you're at home. The production quality and how you interact with the game as the games are going on is so good.
So I will say the Dota 2 is a very complex game. It's one of the things that makes it so really hard to onboard new players onto it. It was really cool this year. They really embraced Twitch stuff and Twitch interactivity. They had an extension for Twitch where if you're watching the stream on PC at least, or on a computer, you could interact. You could click on any hero at the top, and it would display a description of the hero, all of the spells. You could hover over any of it, and it would tell you what the spell did. Also, what's crazy is that as the observer would swap from hero to hero as they click, because they're going to highlight different heroes depending on what's going on the screen. As they're selecting the heroes, along the bottom, their inventory is shown and the spells that they have leveled up is shown. Again, if you hover over it, it reads you off what item that they have, what the item does, the spells that they have leveled up, what that does. You could pull open a tab at any time to look at every hero's inventory as well as what level they are at any time, and that's completely independent of what's going on on the stream. It was
videos and they're inside the little thing too. You can click videos and watch what that skill does, and it'll tell you this skill does this and it interacts with this skill. It's next level.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah. And then if you have the game, you can just play it, and you can watch the game yourself and direct the camera if you wanted to, and look around the map as things are going. Stuff like that is so important for a viewer of some competitive game. It's so fun to just feel like you're there. And League of Legends, for example, is a series that makes a lot more money. It's worth a lot more than Dota 2, but their production values are so much lower. They don't have this type of stuff.
It was crazy. It was, and what's kind of crazy is that there was this weird period of time where when Riot first started out, they eclipsed past Dota 2 for production, because for I would say the first 3 TIs, maybe the fourth one a little bit, Riot just they were listen, we're an entertainment company, more than just a games company, and so they put a lot of money into it. All of their casters and broadcast staff are Riot employees, which is very, very different than Dota 2, where none of them are Valve employees. They're only contractors. And so the production jumped up pretty fast comparatively, and then, just kind of leveled out, and just, it's always interesting when you just never know, is this the year that Valve is going to be let's put a lot of time and effort into developing this thing, and then this year they're let's do that. Okay, I don't know, maybe making Steam Deck has got a bunch of people pumped up, and they decided that they were going to have a bunch of stuff. But it looked good. There was definitely some production issues compared to other years, but they literally chose Bucharest, I think 2 months ago.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were supposed to be in Sweden, and that's where it was supposed to be last year before they had to cancel. And then they tried to postpone and do it in Sweden again. Didn't work out, so they moved to Bucharest. I think it was a little bit more than 2 months ago, but I am glad that I was not part of whatever production nightmare that must have been to try and relocate that stuff. But anyway, Dota 2 tournament was good. Underdog Cinderella story. Sorry for spoilers. It was fucking sick. I went to the maximum games on the last day against a heavily favored veteran team, and then
Chinese, and that's huge. That's a big.
Yeah, I mean the Chinese teams. So there was a history in Dota where it was kind of Western team, Chinese team, and then literally it was just back and forth, and that stopped 3 years ago. And so there was a lot of hype because it was this is going to be China's year again. They look really good. They look really dominant. One of the teams went to the upper bracket all the way to the finals. They looked unstoppable. And this is a team that got dropped to the lower bracket first day and ran it literally all the way up. The youngest team in terms of average player age by a good margin. and
they have the worst room in the entire
Oh,
hotel.
they actually they got on Twitter pretty quickly on their first day because their practice room, they literally didn't have enough like space to be able to like back their chairs up, and other teams that were more well known got much better rooms. But sometimes that's just the environment that you need to survive.
It was looking like a Smash Brothers tournament in there, all crowded and small.
It actually kind of did. That's what a melee. That's the kind of room a melee tournament would be held in.
There you go. Now, would you pay $50 if melee was included in that?
Dude, I don't trust Nintendo to do any online shit ever. I'm not even gonna do it.
I'm messing. Good times. Awesome. Good job, Taylor. Yeah, I'm gonna play Dota one day.
No.
I will say, if nothing else, what's really cool is download the client. You don't ever have to play it, but anytime that there's a tournament going on or high level games going on, they're always streamed inside the game live. You can get the broadcasters that they have going out on like Twitch streams and stuff is included in the client as well. You can watch whoever's doing the observing. You can follow their camera, or you can control it yourself. And it's kind of a neat way to be able to, like, you can still click around, read stuff, and do whatever you want while just watching the game in the client. You just have this extra freedom and be able to do stuff. I always encourage anybody to download the client and watch Dota that way.
All the characters are free.
That is, listen, they've done very well. There's a reason why they dominate certain demographic markets compared to others, and that is definitely one of the reasons why.
Love this game, man. I tell you.
I mean, honestly, Russia, and the other kind of surrounding countries, as well as Southeast Asia, Dota 2 dominates, and that's the reason why.
Go hard. Them boys are crazy in this whole game.
Anyway, I don't think that and Final Fantasy 14. That's it.
All right. JJ, what have you been playing, my friend?
We already talked about Metroid, so I don't need to jump back into that. Left 4 Dead 3, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Back for Blood.
Back for Blood.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a cool game. It is Left 4 Dead, man. With some twists in it. I mean, but
yeah,
I like that.
I think the roguelike deck elements are really cool.
Yeah.
Because I know people that play Left 4 Dead 2 like crazy for like 1,000 hours or something. And I don't know how.
Yeah.
But like now it's like now you have these like random generated like challenges that pop up. It's like, oh, birds are louder and bosses do this much more damage or blah blah. So it's like it's like always something new.
All 4 characters have to make it to the end or whatever. Like they do all that kind of. It's cool. It's you can tell that this is the natural progression of what Turtle Rock was doing with Left 4 Dead.
Sure.
And it's free. I mean, it's on Game Pass, man. It's there.
Yeah. I think the most fun thing for me playing it is I just been doing random lobbies with people and mostly with console players. And what's fun about it is my PC loads the game in like 10 seconds maybe, and these console players are sitting there for like 40 seconds. I'm just waiting. I'm like walking around the room just waiting for them. Like, dude, come on. And they're always like, and their mics are always on, and you always hear everything going on. It's such a fun environment that I've missed.
Yeah, it is that very specific era of online gaming really represented here in Left 4 Blood. And I downloaded on both PC and Series X, and obviously it's a PC game. I mean, like the Series X one looks great, and it loads okay. It is on a solid state drive, but so is my laptop, and it's so. But yeah, it runs well. It looks good. It plays really, really good. I like some of the giant boss stuff, like those like weird hive monster kind of things. Those are
big ass raid monsters was coming.
Yeah, those are cool. That's a good addition to the formula.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they like have that, like these big like raid monsters, and these like these basically like challenge points throughout the map.
Oh, you talking about like the like ogre and stuff like that?
Yeah. Yeah, so and that's a really cool thing because you'll like run into an ogre in like a certain part of the map, and then you have to like retroactively move back through it. So it's like if you've been if you know the game, you know like okay, not to grab everything as you're going forward because you're gonna have to come back. So it's like some really cool planning if you get to that point with like your friend group, like okay, we're gonna play this on hard, and we know not to grab all of this shit, just grab this and go. So yeah, it's super neat. The design in it is really tight. They've definitely like mastered it. And then they have all these cool like daily challenges and like kind of like just like the Fortnite formula, I guess. So like kind of like keep you coming back every day and like week. But you build a deck for your characters, which is I think is the most important part. So you get cards, you build your deck. And there's this one called a battle knife, and it's like the most crazy OP card in the game because it gives you a knife to just use randomly, and you can use it even when you're reloading your gun. And it's almost like it's pretty much a one-hit kill on any zombie. So it's like you can just use it whenever. And it's one of the first cards that you get to grab. So if you're playing, grab that. But yeah, then like each time you level up, you get to grab more cards inside your character's deck, and you get to just kind of add different elements to your dude, like when I reload I get a speed boost, when I use my knife I get a speed boost, stuff like that. It's super cool. There's a lot of replayability, a lot of like
and they didn't ignore like a single player thing either. Like it's the AI is surprisingly competent in just like the single player stuff too, so it's fun for everyone, really. I mean, it's the perfect kind of Game Pass game too. Like this is exactly the kind of thing that Game Pass exists for. Like I never would have bought this as much as I would have loved to have played it. I never would have like bought it, but there it is. It's just there because I did play a lot of Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 on the 360 because everyone was playing Left 4 Dead on the 360 at the time.
All of us. Yep.
Yeah, I think all the joystick podcasts appreciate the JPEG and as a whole was playing it then. But it's fun to go back into that. So. Yeah, I played that, and I've been playing PGA on the Switch.
Cool.
I don't know why. I can't get it. I have Mario Golf, yet I just went right back to PGA 2K21. It's a better golf game.
It's a golf game. It's a real golf game.
Yeah, I mean it's a golf sim and not a
But they don't play that differently for one another. I mean,
it's golf.
It's golf.
There's only so many ways you can twist it.
Yeah, exactly. So I just keep spending all of my money on golf games. There's a new golf game, I'll buy it. I don't care.
Let's go to
that golf.
Nope. There
you go.
Which golf game? What golf are we talking about?
There's that golf. What is it? Roguelike. Has that come out yet?
No,
not yet.
That's a big old finger. Anyways, okay, so let's see. I've been playing a game that I got code for. It is called. It's right here. The Eternal Cylinder. I don't know if you guys have seen this game, but it's like it looks ugly, but it's supposed to. But it's not like a good ugly, like Cruelty Squad ugly. It's like kind of a bad ugly. But pretty much it's kind of like Spore, but like a consolidated campaign. If you kind of so it's called the Endless Cylinder because you live on a planet that is constantly being rolled over by a big ass cylinder. And there's these checkpoints throughout the world where you can stop the cylinder from going through, and that's like your race's reason for living is basically to stop the cylinder at certain points and to so basically the game you start out as like this like little dude and you get this control like 5 or 6 of them I think, and the whole thing is you need to evolve to reach to the next spot. So you keep finding fruits or things to eat, and you keep evolving. And sometimes it's something as simple as like turning into a square to like fit into a hole to like push open a door, or it's like you eat a vegetable that makes you able to like scream loud and scare away like big scary dudes. And that's kind of the game. You have a time limit that isn't specifically told to you, but you'll know when it's coming, when the cylinder is going to come over, and it does a good job of being different enough, but it doesn't do enough that makes it like you got to play it. Like it's like almost there. It's a game that's like frustratingly just kind of boring, even though it looks so cool. But because it just because it boils down to you like, okay, I need to find out how to get past this area. Then you get past it, and then that's pretty much it. It doesn't, no pun intended, evolve beyond that. But yeah, it's definitely a cool concept. It's just kind of a miss. And there's a British guy who's like narrating the whole thing. He's like, and it's not really a good feeling because it kind of makes you feel dumb because he's like, oh, there's no. It's like, shut up. Anyways, it's fun though. Like it's definitely like a 7. It's definitely a 7 out of 10 game. Right. Like if you see it on sale, you want to play something that's different, but like, oh, okay, different but disappointing. Yeah.
Boy, some of this stuff really does look like Spore though.
Right.
Yeah. It's
we're stealing Playland's comments.
Yeah, I saw that pop up and I was like, man, he's right. There's some character designs there that.
Yeah, let's see. The main characters, what are they called?
That's a cool logo, though. That logo is cool.
They're called Thubbums.
Thubbums
or something.
That is neat.
But yeah, there's like a guy like David Attenborough just kind of like narrating you the whole time.
But not like in the charming Little Big Planet kind of way.
No. This is made by the developers and creators of Xenoclash, that first person.
Oh
wow, really?
What, really?
Really?
Yeah.
This is okay.
So they decided to go from doing something really unique and cool to doing something really unique and kind of boring. So,
it's funny because I wish the game had. I wish the game was better because the concept is really kind of cool. You're always dreading. There's a little bit of dread, but it just seems like they just didn't capitalize on it. So.
It's such a cool concept. Like, and I usually am very against having these kind of systems in games, like roguelike elements, like random elements constantly. Sure. But I think a game like this would have really benefited from that to like add to that kind of chaos because it's set design levels that you go through instead of it being something random. I think that would have helped the game a lot because if you can make a game to where like, okay, it's cold and I need this type of foot and this type of wings to get through this area. Like finding that on a whim is a lot more interesting than like knowing because it's designed. I think that would have been cool, but it probably would have been a bigger challenge. But hey, it's definitely a 7 out of 10, maybe even a 6.
Yeah.
But let's see, what else have I played? Let me check my Steam. Yeah, mostly Final Fantasy 14. I've been got 32 days before the expansion comes out.
I have to gain 20 levels and do 3 expansions of content in 32 days.
You can do it if you actually like played the game.
I have a job and a family.
Dude, you could easily, I'm not even joking, if you play 2 hours 3 times a week, you could easily do it. You just gotta do it. Like, but yeah, they had a big media thing last
media
week.
Tour.
Media tour that only special people get invited to, which is really cool that they do that. They allow content creators to come to them, ask them questions, and make content for their viewers and stuff, and that's really cool. I think the most impressive thing was Hasmongold and Rich Campbell, who are the 2 biggest like WoW people who jumped over to Final Fantasy, and probably one of the reasons why the game increased in popularity. They were talking to Koshi P, who's the director producer of the game, and the most impressive thing was Yoshi P knew what was going on in these guys' lives. He was like, "Yeah, like Hasman, I know your mom's and like she's been having a hard time. I hope everything's okay." And he was like, "Yeah, thanks. Thanks for
thanks, director of Final Fantasy 14, Yoshi P.
Yeah, and he said like people at our offices have you on our screens. Like we watch you guys every day. Like he said, you guys are what make this game happen, and I want to thank you for doing what you do, and I hope everything's okay." Just like Yoshi P as a person, he's such an upstanding type of guy. Because stuff like that doesn't happen like ever. Especially from these dudes coming over from Blizzard games to this and being like, "Hey, I love you. Thank you for like being a gamer. Like I play games too. Like let's talk about games. Let's talk about anime." And like it's cool. And I just love the game a lot because of that. I love it because of the community a lot more than the actual game itself. But yeah, it was really heartwarming thing. And then you have Yoshi P like talking about memes and the community and just stuff. It's like really cool. That I always find something about that game that I love every time I come back to
calling Alpha not a Redditor was a pretty good one too.
Yeah, so there's a main character, Halfanad, who's just kind of like the smart guy.
Halfanad?
Yeah, he's a smart dude, but he's also he's young, so he's very arrogant, and he thinks he knows everything. And there's a lot of times where the story sets him up for really big successes, and he fails. And so he has a really cool character arc. And the director, Yoshi P, was like, "Yeah, if he was a real person, he'd totally be on Reddit and like thinking he knows everything." And like, it's just like, it's funny. Like it's just so cool to see a director of the game, the director of the next Final Fantasy main title is like, "Yeah, dude, he's totally on Reddit, being thinking he knows everything about the world." It's so cool. That's
awesome.
Yeah, and. Yeah, so it's just cool. I just love seeing all the changes. They're making the game more fast this time around, more faster and more damage, higher healing. So the core gameplay is going to change a lot. They're crunching a lot of numbers too, so things are just going to be faster in general.
Imagine the spreadsheet he's got going this time.
I don't make those. I have friends that make those, and I just steal them.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. And they also confirmed, so each expansion is basically a 6-act structure. And they've confirmed that this expansion is a 7-act structure, and it's about 40% bigger than the other expansions. It's their biggest expansion yet. And Yoshi P said it's about double the size of a normal RPG. So he said like a 50, 60 hour long story for this one. So it's quite substantial. It's quite big. It's the biggest expansion yet because, Shadowbringers came out and I played that for a week straight. It took me a week to beat it. Probably like 40 hours because they're single-player games designed to be a story thing. So this one's supposed to be longer than that, and it's exciting because it's the final big, final end of this first arc, and then... So when the expansion ends, it would usually end on kind of like a cliffhanger, so leading to the next patch, because they do with every 3 months or 6 months, I think. Yes, every 3 they add new story content to the game, so it's like an ongoing thing. But this time, when the expansion ends, it's going to be the end. And everything that's going to be next is going to be new. So it's like it's a big
restart then, I guess.
Yeah, it's a big restart. It's a big conclusion, and it's also exciting to see what comes next because everything that is a known quantity is about to be dealt with and done. So in the community, there's a lot of theory crafting going on, a lot of discussions, and it's just a lot of fun logging into that game and talking to random people about it in there and going and talking with your friends. It's such a special thing. So I'm glad I'm a part of it.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm trying to think if that's it, because besides that, it's just me playing Nickelodeon and hanging out. That's been fun.
That's a good ass game.
I'm gonna get
That
it.
game,
I'm gonna get it.
dude. I was talking about it in the Discord. Like nobody expected some random Nickelodeon game to like upheave so much like Nintendo drama and like Smash Bros. Drama. It's just
awesome.
like it's a huge like shockwave. And I just every day I'm just sitting there like what's going to happen next. These dudes have updated the game like 3 or 4 times 2 with like pages of patch notes and asking for feedback from the players, which is pretty crazy. Yeah. And then I guess the other thing is just download Sora tomorrow and Kingdom Hearts.
It's now. It's officially available now. So that's what I'm gonna be doing after this.
If only it were included. If only it were included in the $50 Switch
There you
expansion.
And I would buy it.
Online
There
expansion.
you go. Well, friends, good show. Only an hour and 25 minutes. Wow. Should we hang on for a little bit longer?
Yeah, I mean, we can always talk about more content.
I
didn't even mention the Steam Deck news.
I have the Overstreet comic book price guide. Do you just want me to read off random comic book values?
Go through each one.
Oh.
Let me
I've
tell
had
you
Animal
about
Crossing.
1991.
The first
Free
appearance of
downloading.
Falcon is $950 at a 9.
Thank you for that. Well, you can find us at sidequesting.com, sidequesting on all the social, sidequesting TV on the video sites. You can find us in the Discord, which is really the best place to find us because we have a lot of fun chatting. A lot of good folks. A lot of the folks are hopping into the chat tonight across Twitch and YouTube saying hello. But yeah, Taylor, thanks for hopping on, man.
I'm so happy that I was able to be here.
Excellent. Good night, Taylor. JJ, thanks for hopping on, JJ.
Oh, absolutely.
Good night, JJ. And Zach,
Tired.
thank you, Zach, for hopping on.
You're welcome.
Good night, Zach boy. I'm just gonna say good night. Good
Good
night.
night. Is this the Waltons?
Yeah. Listen, guys, always remember to say good night to your fellow podcast hosts.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Tell them how much you appreciate them. I'm Dolly Domofsky. Good night, Dolly. Hello, Dolly. We'll see you all on the next episode of The SideQuest Live. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.